that everyone must have fun, and then no idea is a bad idea. Everyone has a voice, and once again, everyone have fun. So we're going to go through our normal three different rounds of our brainstorming session. So we'll start first categorizing what we're going to go through. It seems like everyone has like what they need to go through, and then so we'll play it. So. Basically, some of the individual ideas. We kind of broke it out in 3 different sections.
Let's run it.
Tanisha?
Yes.
What's your first one to relate to money?
Smaller bottles,
Okay.
so that the bottles are sized to the amount of people that you share. So if you want, like, you can have the same beer, but if you want a beer for like 5 people or whatever, you can get a 5 people share.
Okay, I dig it.
And then if you want one for 3 people, you can just get a 3.
That makes sense. That makes sense. What about you?
So for me, I got 4-ounce pours.
Okay.
That way, no matter what beer you're working with, it's only 4 ounces now. I know, you know, the thing with the bottles, if you don't have that big of a bottle, that's not going to go around for a lot of people, but then I guess you would need multiple bottles.
So would you almost say that this is a standardization in the way that we pour?
Standardization in the way that you pour. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, cool. What about you, KT?
I would have to agree with him. I don't want to piggyback, but as far as smaller bottles,
Oh,
you know.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
We're talking about money, right?
Yeah, exactly. Tanisha, next one?
Okay, so I said increase production to more states so that it decreases shipping costs when you have to privately share.
So distribution.
Yes.
Okay.
So increase distribution, because if you increase distribution, it will decrease the price per bottle.
Okay. Okay. That's a great idea. What about you, Jen?
Then I say that when you have the share, just let everybody know that it's going to be 3 bottles per person. As a minimum, like, you know, as a minimum, like
Yeah.
at least bring 3 bottles when you get it, because that way, like, that gives you, you know, you got 5 people, that's 15 bottles, that's a good amount of stuff to go around.
That's awesome. So again, that almost standardization of what we expect.
Right.
What about you, KT?
As far as to be cost effective,
Yes.
as far as usually beers are in a glass container, but if you use a plastic container, maybe it'd be a little bit more cost effective and
Absolutely.
save you company a little bit
So
more money.
containering. Yep, that's perfect. That's perfect. Man. What about you, T?
All the extra expenses that go along with shares.
So can you?
Food,
Okay.
music, smoking may go along with that, smoking cigars.
Okay.
So all the extra expenses
Okay.
that go along.
All right. Cool.
Be specific.
So basically, some costs or other costs that you're not aware of.
And then I got low to mid ABV, because I see that generally the higher ABV is on whatever it is that you're drinking, the more expensive it is. So if you just get quality beer that is not, as high in alcohol volume, then it would be more cost effective.
That's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect.
So ABV is less alcohol.
Alcohol volume.
Same.
Yep.
And with to piggyback on that, it all depends on which type of beers that you're presenting or
Right.
you're sharing.
Yeah.
Say if you have, for example, if you have a sour, American Wild Ale, they're going to range for a small bottle $11 all the way up to 41, 40 to 40-ish dollars. So you have to be careful with that.
Okay. So the type of beer that's actually presented at the session. All right. That's cool. Any, Tanisha?
I have one more. I would say less sours.
Okay.
Because I don't like sours. So if you have less sours at the share, it would decrease your cost.
Okay. All right. Cool. Less sours.
Yes.
What about you, Jane?
I got I know this might be popular with a lot of people, but have a time period for your share.
Okay.
So like, it's 4 to 6, and that's really when it is, and hey.
So standardization by breaking the time zone. That's perfect.
Y'all just
That's
need a
really
woman
good, Jay.
in there to do
to check us.
Yes, exactly.
Alright, y'all gotta leave now.
What about you?
As far as being cost effective, maybe when you have your share, try not to make it so extravagant. Maybe,
Okay.
for lack of a better term, more just meat and potatoes.
Okay. Okay. So concentrate on the intent. Right. A little bit more.
I don't have anything else.
That's okay. And this one just kind of popped into my head late, but I would say to get donations of beer from breweries that want exposure.
Okay.
And then what you do is you tell them, hey, like, you know, we'll hype your stuff up on Instagram and everything that we post on, and I think that a lot of breweries would be down.
That's great. That's great. That's a great idea. What about you?
Piggyback on that. One word. Networking.
Networking. Okay.
Network.
Okay. Okay. We're going back on to overall experiences in social environments.
Yes.
So how can we improve and make that better? So I guess we'll start with Jamie.
Okay, my turn. So I'll say that, you know, this might be kind of subjective or situational, but 6 to 12 people to share.
Okay.
Because I feel like when it's less people, that it's more, everyone's involved with each other and it's more genuine and you have a better time.
All right, I dig that. That's cool.
No matter where you're at, too, you know, at home,
Just limit
or
from 6 to
brewery,
12?
wherever you're at.
6 to 12.
Keep it smaller.
Yep.
And not to piggyback on that, but depending on the number of people that you have,
Sorry, Kerry.
is how many bottles you want to bring, because you want to bring an equal amount,
Okay.
right? And everyone has a decent amount.
That's
you know.
perfect. So like a
ounces.
bottle ratio to
Right.
the amount of people there. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Okay, with the sentiment of having fun,
Okay.
I'm going to say that we want no lames at this
No
party.
lanes. Okay.
Cool people only.
Define lane.
I was going to say,
Can you
we talking
define
about
that?
people
to
craft
Define
beer, it's going to be some lame
lane.
people
Yes.
coming through.
Anyone
It do
who's
what
not
it did.
turned up, anyone
Oh, that kind of lame.
who wants to bring any issues or depression
Okay.
to the session.
Okay, so you
No.
just want positivity.
Right.
Yes.
Positivity. So that
Good
makes sense. I
vibes.
think I understand what you're saying. Good vibes.
There you go.
Okay, so I got this one, BYOB. So bring your own beer that you brewed
Okay.
and share.
Okay.
So like something like that. You know,
Okay.
we're like, all right, so all of us are working on something, we're gonna brew it, and then let's bring it together and we all try each other's
So
stuff.
let me ask you a question. Would you almost think that does that make it a more individualized or more customized type of share by brewing your own?
Well, I don't think so, because if we're, well, you know, just where my mind frame is at, we're talking about 6 to 12 people,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have a good amount of different beers to try and taste amongst yourselves. And, you know, I think you just tell people, hey, we're gonna do a share. So like, you know, we can only have 2 stouts, we can only have 2 this, 2 that, 2 that. So, you know, let's pick what we're gonna brew, and let's do it and let's bring it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's pretty niche,
No, I mean
But-
that's a perfect.
but people are down for that though, you know?
I agree.
They're interested in doing that. Like I see Frank, you know, our boy,
Mhm.
and he's got like this little thing he's doing. And I'm like, well dang, I'd like to brew beer. I want to know the ins and outs of, you know, how to select hops and do all this different stuff.
Expand,
And make,
yeah, expand,
you know,
expand,
I want to
expand.
get it more. I want to understand the process.
I never understood. What's up?
And with that, I want to ride Tanisha's coattails on lames.
Yes, the lames.
You want to bring people together with a common denominator. It either being beer, everyone shares the same passion as beer, or share the same passion as, say, a martial art or a hobby, etc., etc.
Yeah. So there's no coincidence why both of us have. good
Yeah, why are we here?
Yeah.
We know why we're here.
All right. Cool. Tanisha.
Okay. No kids.
No kids. Okay. So all right. So keep the babies at home.
That's just it.
All right.
No kids.
All right.
All right, I got one. It's safety.
Okay.
So designated driver.
That is
Mm.
yes.
Just because, you know, sometimes you might get a little lit being
Yeah.
able to share.
Yep.
Uber, you know, availability, or having it be walking distance from whatever type of public transportation or wherever you live.
Jim, that's a perfect idea. That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, responsibility. That's a plus. That's what we all need to do.
Right. Now with the whole thing as far as people you have a common denominator with, as far as in our community, in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community, we have a saying that, you know, you want to exercise or train before you
Enjoy.
enjoy. So I try to think of it as a Pavlov's experience with the ringing the bell and the dog salivates. You know, we
Ready for
train
my beer.
and then we salivate and we drink.
So it's a reward. A reward.
Yes.
A reward. Awesome.
That's funny though.
That makes sense. That's cool.
We salivate and we drink.
So would you almost say like to trying to rank basically the top priority here for so look at all the categories. What does it seem like? Do you guys feel like is the number one?
People?
People?
Yeah, people.
So we'll put the people.
Who your people are and how many.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll take this and we'll rank this as number one. Right? So this is people. The next thing that you think is probably the next ranked out of all of this experience, you think is what? There's taste, food, money. Money to improve.
Money.
Money. So the money, right?
Right.
Better ingredients.
So better ingredients. That goes right into taste too, right?
Well, you know, yeah, it's true. But as far as providing a better beer, you have a better taste.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Which means more people will come. But you want to have your people there first.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that make sure.
Well, we got different ranges of the perspective, right, on the money. So you could be talking about whether you want to make it cost effective or whether cost is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, yeah, and both of those are two balance on the spectrum. But I think what we're trying to hopefully achieve is, understanding like so. For instance, money, right? Can you make it more cost effective, or can you make it cost more so there's an element of prestige to it, right?
Right,
So there's the balance to it. So I guess if you were supposed to rank where money plays in an overall beer session, what do you think? Because you almost made a good point. Well, I say almost, you did make a good point. For more ingredients cost more money, therefore you get better taste.
Right.
That derives on the money portion.
Right.
So what would you think would be probably the next one to rank overall? Do you think it's based on money, or do you think it's based on taste, or a combination of thereof, or what would you feel like would be next?
I have to say money.
Money?
You don't
Yeah.
want it to interfere with any other aspect of your life. You want it to be a hobby and not something that takes over. It's
Okay.
supposed to be something that's fun and not sending you.
So let's go with being cost effective.
Okay,
Yeah?
so cost effective.
I think so.
So you would have the pricing, so 11 to 40, the low to mid ABV,
Okay.
less sours.
Because they're more expensive.
Because they are more
And they taste disgusting.
Maybe
Yes.
setting a limit to how many bottles per person, and then also
Right,
how big your pours
all
are.
into one.
You get
Yep.
a count of how many people are gonna be coming, right?
Then how long you're gonna go for too,
That's true.
So
the 2-hour time period.
then
Top right.
Boom.
And do you want people to bring bottles as a must?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
for sure.
that's what a session is.
Yep.
BYOP.
4 ounce.
All right, cool. So I think if I'm looking at this right here, so we're talking about the cost of the session itself. So
Right.
basically restricting from a time period, the quantity of what people bring, and then also looking at the dollar per cost of each one.
Right. What about thinking outside the box a little too, like the donation from breweries that want to
That's perfect. That could also be
That way no one's paying any money.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. You guys would rank this as number 2. All right, cool. So then as number 3, what would you think is the next third best thing to help improve the overall craft brew session?
Gotta be taste. We
Taste.
got a lot of different input.
So if I'm seeing his here, food pairing seems like it's almost one of the biggest ones
Yeah.
here.
That'd be ideal.
Get that in there first.
So you would say food pairing.
Yes, sir.
Because it's not just beer, it's have actual food.
Mm-hmm. So I see this one, few barbecue plays. Okay, so I think we'll.
You can take off the music and the sports.
Yeah.
Okay, so we.
But that's integral too.
Yeah, put
You
it
know,
all
yeah.
in there. Put that all in there. Even though it's not.
So can
it's-
number
it's
3
not
be
just taste. That could be
ambiance?
taste in everything.
Oh,
Right.
taste,
Ambiance.
okay, yeah.
Okay. So not only you're talking about taste of palate, but taste of the environment.
Yeah.
All right.
Part.
Okay. And just like in Jim, you bring up an interesting point. Like, you know, when you go out to dinner, sometimes the food tastes so much better if you have better service,
Right.
you have better people, a better environment that you're in. So you're 100% right. So we'll put that whole thing with overall, absolutely. What would you guys think would be next?
I would say that I kind of see a pattern here. Like I said, IPAs that don't scare people. She said no citrus, less hops, more fruity, wine cooler, and then where is it? There's something else I saw: pale ale, IPA, porter, stout,
Right.
sours. So that's kind of like variety with also beers that don't intimidate people.
So you look from here, and you think this goes here, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Yep, and the blue one too. It was right underneath that. That one goes.
Order of operations,
Yep.
Okay, so
That one goes with those. And then the IPA that don't scare people too, the pink one, because I'm trying to get mine in there.
all right, cool.
I got good ideas too, man.
That's right. Smooth and chair.
Oop.
Alright.
This up here.
Yeah, my ideas are large.
They take 6 Post-it notes.
Yes, they
Don't forget
do.
that.
Okay, so this one?
In between,
No.
no. Oh, this one. Yes, sir.
All right, so that would be here. So this would be 4. All right, so
I think kind of too, like not to like get on my own self, but themes on flavor with home brewing, it kind of goes with what Kevin was saying earlier too about like letting people know what they're getting into ahead of time. Like this is what you're gonna be drinking, etc.
so you're basically setting a tone prior to this. So
Yeah.
you think that would be merging the 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so where am I looking right here?
Right there.
Right up to the right.
Here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically setting a theme.
Yeah.
Okay. So now there's one big thing that I think here. And, you know, we ranked this all overall to the session.
At the end of the day.
But one of the things I'm seeing that's clear here, but we haven't really talked about is this,
Yeah.
the safety.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. So do you guys think that should be ranked here?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
And then where do you think that should be aimed in terms of priority?
At the top.
At the top.
Yeah.
At the tip top. Yes, sir.
So wives are invited.
So do you,
Man,
so,
dude's gonna be mad at us. Like this is the only time I get away from
But
it.
it's true though.
We
You
don't
know, if
want
you
to be
want
in the same
to,
room.
if you really want to have a good time, you know.
Yeah,
you're
we
not